Mr. Mayor, we have everybody present this evening,
Okay, just let me know when we're ready to go.
and we are ready to go now. You are live.
Great. Okay, very good. Thank you. I'll call to order this special council meeting. And the first item or second item is disclosure of pecuniary interest. I'll ask any member if you have a pecuniary interest to declare at this time. Seeing none, of course, you can do so many times if you need to. We have nothing else on the agenda except for item number 7, report of municipal officers and committees. And you have a report of the striking committee there. And as chairman of the striking committee, I will present you with the report. Essentially, the committee has 2 recommendations for you this evening. As you'll all be aware, last week, CAO David Smith tendered his resignation, and so your first recommendation from the committee is that reluctantly, the committee recommends that you accept David Smith's resignation effective September 20th, 2020. And I know David will be joining us for at least one meeting, maybe 2 more meetings, depending on how things go with vacations and whatnot. But I did just want to say how much we appreciate the work that David has put in over the last 4 years as CAO. I have personally enjoyed working with him a great deal, and I feel like he's moved the municipality forward in a lot of really important and essential ways, and we're sorry to lose him, but I know that he's moving on to a great new municipality and that he will do great work there. So thank you, David, for all of your work. And I also want to say that you know, one thing David has managed to do over the last several years is build up a very strong senior management team at the town of Saugeen Shores. Some really outstanding people who have also hired some great people to work for them. So the municipality is in a sound state, a solid state, and I have every confidence in our senior management team that though David is departing, that they will be able to continue to operate the municipality both through the transition and with David's replacement in a professional and effective way. So we will move forward. And that brings me on to the second recommendation that the striking committee wants to bring to you this evening. As you can see, with David's departure effective September 20th, that's a fairly tight time frame. We're not going to be able to recruit somebody in that period of time, but we do want to move with as much speed as we can in order to recruit a new individual to fill the CAO's seat. And so that means getting at that process right away, which is why I've called this special council meeting this evening with the support of the striking committee, so that we can seek your input on hiring a recruitment firm to assist in the recruitment of a new chief administrative officer. Recruitment firms provide focused efforts and save time in the hiring process. A recruiter will proactively look for applicants, screen against our defined criteria, and provide a short list of qualified applicants. This will help to ensure that we are spending our time with applicants who are interested in our town and meet our qualification and experience criteria. An external recruiter also brings a neutral perspective on the applicant's skills, knowledge, experience, and suitability for the position. We are anticipating that there will be internal applicants for the position, and the use of a neutral third party will help to ensure a thorough and unbiased approach to the decision. The intended approach to hiring this recruitment firm will be to undertake a invitational bid process. And then the striking committee will review bid submissions and recommend a recruitment firm to council. And it is anticipated that the recommendation for a recruitment firm will be presented to council at its August 10th meeting. I should just double back briefly to outline for council the process when it comes to hiring a CAO, as some of you will not have been through this process before. So the procedural bylaw gives the striking committee the responsibility to facilitate the recruitment and hiring of a CAO. So the deputy mayor, vice deputy mayor, and I will lead this process, and we will report to you. We will create a process, and we will report to you what that process will be. This is sort of the first step in that, asking for your support for this recruitment firm. So we will get down to having some recommended candidates for you to consider. But of course, the ultimate hiring decision belongs to council. The striking committee will give you some choices to make, but the choice will ultimately be yours. So that's the process in a nutshell that we're heading down. There will be more detail to come on exactly timelines and the process right through from beginning to end. And we will have more of that to come once we get a recruitment firm hired and are able to sketch that out for you. The other thing that's in this report is really just for your information. The striking committee, as you know, has 3 male members, and we believe that in order to ensure a balanced perspective, that it's important to have female representation on the hiring panel. And so we will be asking 1 female member of council to join the striking committee, in particular for the interview process and providing feedback on that process. Ultimately, recommendations on this process will come from the striking committee, the 3 members of the striking committee, but we want to have a female perspective to inform our own decision making and recommendations to you. So that's something that the committee will be doing. And then finally, we're expecting that there will be a 2 to 4 month gap between CAO Smith's departure and the permanent filling of the position. And so it is the committee's view that we will need someone to take on the role of CAO in that interim period. And the striking committee will be making a recommendation to council for an acting appointment at a future meeting. We have some time to make that decision, and that's something that I and the striking committee are working on now, and we will have a recommendation for you in time for that decision. You guys still hear me? I'm frozen on my own screen, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, okay. Well, I can't hear any of you either, which is also weird.
Can you hear us?
Yes, now I can hear you.
We're all muted.
Oh, that makes sense. Anyway, okay. So that's the end of my report, or the striking committee's report, pardon me, anyway, and you have the 2 recommendations. I'll just read the recommendations. We can get a mover and seconder, and then we can have any discussion you want to have. The recommendation is that 1, council accept the resignation of David Smith as Chief Administrative Officer effective September 20th, 2020. And 2, that a recruitment firm be used to assist in the recruitment of a Chief Administrative Officer. Is there a mover and second for that resolution? Moved by Rich, seconded by Grace. Actually, I apologize. Let me just reread it because what I have written in front of me is a different resolution, pardon me. The resolution is actually reads that council approve the recommendations outlined in the striking committee report dated July 27th, 2020. Is there a mover and seconder? Rich and Grace. Okay, questions or comments for the resolution? Councillor Mayette.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will be supporting this motion reluctantly. I might say we're all, I think, at least I know everybody I've spoken to is saddened by the news that Dave's moving on, but it's for his own good. With regards to the selection of the firm to do the candidate search, is it customary? It would seem logical to me that the same firm that recruited David away from us would not be the firm that gets chosen to recruit somebody else for us. That would be almost a self-fulfilling business plan. We don't want to foster such tomfoolery, so to speak. So that's what I would hope that firm would be excluded, if in fact we know, or if David's willing to disclose who the headhunter was that was able to lure him away from the fastest growing municipality in the region.
Yes, I think we'll, a recruitment firm, what the intended approach will be to put out a request for quotations directly to some firms. There are firms that we have worked with in the past as a municipality and with success. We used one to recruit David, you might recall, and others. So I think we will have a good list of qualified recruitment firms that we will go out for quotations with, and ultimately the decision will be made by council on the basis of price as well as what the service will be. Further questions or comments to the resolution? I don't see any. So you've heard the resolution. All in favor? I voted yes in case you can't see me. And that is carried. Okay, thank you. So then that moves us then on to adjournment. And I have a resolution that this special council meeting of January 27, 2020 hereby adjourns at 5:41 p.m. Mover and seconder, Matheson, Rich. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.